The views and opinions expressed by the On the Spot with David Rodgers show are solely based on the show's host, guests, and viewers. We are solely responsible for all show content in its entirety and does not necessarily reflect the opinions of any sponsors in any way. These broadcasts are presented and made public by the On the Spot with David Rodgers team in the hope that it'll be entertaining and informative to our viewers and listening audience.
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, it's 7 o'clock and time for On the Spot with David Rodgers. And now, here he is, Mr. Friday Night, the show pony himself, the man, the dream, the legendary David Rodgers.
All right, we are back. He said the technical difficulties are fixed. So please give us a thumbs up if you're hearing sound. That is wonderful. Technical difficulties. There we go. Okay. There we go. We are up and we have sound. Let's get the show started as we always do with our prayer, our pledge, and our patriotic quote of the night. Now, we're going to start a little something different. I'm going to ask Mr. Michael Heater if he'll lead us in our prayer tonight.
Let's do it, shall we?
All right.
Our Lord and Father, we thank you and we love you. We appreciate all that you do for us. We appreciate your guiding hand over our great nation, and we love you and thank you for what you do to protect us both here and around the world as a country. We ask for your blessings for those that protect our nation, our first responders, our military, and those that maintain and sustain our country. The truck drivers, the farmers, the workers that are out there every day making sure that our needs and wants are met to keep us in good standing and healthy and cared for to take care of those around us. We ask for your guiding hand as we move forward. We ask for your blessings upon this show. We ask for your blessings for everyone watching. And we ask you and we plead with you to help us move forward out of the difficult times that we have so that we can be a beacon to guide others, to give them the support and the nourishment and the help that they may need. We ask for all of these things as we move forward in your Son's name. And the congregation says,
Amen. All right, let us stand. And I'm going to ask Mr. Byron Bagwell if he'd lead us in our pledge.
I sure will, Mr. Rodgers.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Amen. Again, welcome into the show, ladies and gentlemen. I am the show pony himself, David Rodgers, right alongside the Byron Bagwell. Over to my right, filling in for Mr. Mitchell Gunner. We'll talk about him later. Is fantastic, Mr. Michael Heater. Also in the studio for the first time in a while is the storm chaser himself, Mr. Austin Stevens. He'll give you the weather report. And I've got the King of Sting, the Count of Monte Fisto, the Dancing Destroyer, the Prince of Punch, the Thane of Pain, the Master of all disasters, our senior producer, Mr. Dave Holland. He's in there. How about that? I like the Dancing Destroyer. You'll show us how to do that.
I kind of thought
I'll do a dance for you one day.
Yeah, please. I hope you will.
I kind of thought
I'll just take you to the I'll just take you to the Defender of the Republic and one of the new high priests of the church.
Well, and I was just getting ready to say, but collectively, we are known as what, Byron?
The Defenders of the Republic.
And
the new
high priest of the Church of the Painful Truth. And that's just the way it is. Thank you, Neil Boards. That's exactly right. Again, ladies and gentlemen, I want to welcome you in. Mr. Bagwell, as we get the show rolling, do you have a patriotic quote tonight?
I have an absolutely great patriotic quote tonight. Yes, I do. And it has something to do with some of the things that are going on right now.
All right.
And I will go ahead and tell you this is a founding father, and some of you may know this quote.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. It's really short.
Okay.
Free men do not ask permission to bear arms.
I think I know this one. All right, guys out there listening and our viewers, you can take a guess too. Dave, I'm going to ask you, who do you think?
Oh, man, I'm off the track. I have no idea.
It's founding father.
It's a founding father.
It's a founding father.
I'm going to say Hitchcock.
Go ahead. Hancock.
Hancock.
Yeah.
I was going to say Hitchcock. Does he?
It's not Alfred Hitchcock.
Yeah, but, he's the guy that owns the supermarket.
The supermarket over there. Yeah, the Hitchcock.
And I just threw out an old name. Some people don't know that.
I'm going to go George Washington.
You're going to go Washington. All right.
Very well could have
yeah, they could have been. Yeah. But I'm
like
going to
it's
go
not.
a little something different. I'm going to go Mr. John Adams.
Okay.
Yeah.
Anybody else?
Austin, come on now.
I'm preparing for the forecast.
Oh, okay. He's preparing for the forecast. How about our guest, which, by the way, I'm going to be introducing in a little bit. Any guesses back there, Brandon or Drew?
So personally, I think looking back then when one's a Federalist and one was one of the anti-Federalists, the Federalists were for a lot more of the sort of what would be considered kind of gun control nowadays.
Okay.
So you got to look
Right.
at someone who was more towards the anti-Federalist side. I'm thinking it could be either James Madison or Thomas Jefferson, because those were the two most prominent gun folks at the time.
That's
Nice.
what direction.
Byron, is he on to one of them?
The original founding father, as far as I'm concerned. That's a Thomas Jefferson quote.
Right. Nice job.
Yeah.
Nice job. Very good. All right. Well, I've got one for
And
you.
he threw out Federalist and anti-Federalist. I'm sitting here going, yes!
That was a shot in the dark. I'm telling you, those were the two that I knew were. So I was like, hopefully it's
pretty
one.
good.
Yes. Please note, a shot in the dark. No pun intended.
Well, and I'm going to say something that's really crazy, will be crazy to most people. Thomas Jefferson and people like Thomas Jefferson actually considered themselves to be, guess what? Liberal.
Liberal.
In the classic definition of the term liberal.
Yeah.
We don't use it right.
All right. I've got another one for you guys. Here we go.
Oh boy.
Patriotism is supporting your country all the time and your government when it deserves it.
Oh, I know who this is, but
It's it's a famous author that said this. He's wrote many a books
And he
back
has
in the
another
day.
great quote.
Yes, he does, and I thought about getting that one too. So, Drew, I'm gonna throw it back to you, or Brandon.
Oh gosh, I'd hate to guess.
Okay.
Well, too bad because you got it.
There's too many of
Too
them.
bad you gotta.
Oh gosh. It's an author.
Yeah.
It's an author.
Mm-hmm.
Can I at least get a hint on how recently this author?
It's back. It's back in the day. He wrote a couple of very
1900s.
yes,
Yeah,
early.
It was 1900s.
Yeah.
Gosh.
Oh, I can't say that. It'll give it away. The whole.
Yeah, I don't want to do it either because
I can.
Dave.
I was going to ask Byron to go first.
Oh, okay. But he can't because he knows
I know
it.
the answer to this.
Famous author,
Yeah.
early 20th century.
Uh-huh.
I'm drawing dead.
Okay.
I,
All right, I'm gonna let Byron answer it. Hang on, let me see if I got any guesses here.
What more? Politicians like diapers should be changed often, and for the same reason.
Yeah.
That is another quote by this gentleman, and quite frankly, one of the best quotes I've ever heard about politicians.
Was it Biden's dad?
No.
Oh, Lord.
No.
The radio personality.
No, he's an
No.
author.
He's an author.
And
He's an
y'all
author.
are way overthinking
Yeah,
this.
y'all are.
Way overthinking this.
I know.
Okay,
One
if
more?
I told you, I'll give him the giveaway clue.
Okay.
He goes by a couple of names.
That's a good clue.
It is.
Here's another good clue.
So.
Guess where he lives?
Oh yeah, or lived. Yes. He goes by. I'll give you that. We won't tell them because then they will guess.
Well, I was thinking.
He goes by a couple of
probably-
names.
I was thinking of either John Locke or Mark Levine.
No, Mark Levine's still alive. This guy's not.
Yeah, Mark Levine's still alive. John Locke died in the 60s. Yeah.
The Adventures of Huckleberry Finn.
You know what? No, spot
What?
on. Spot on.
Yeah, Mr. Mark Twain.
It's Mark Twain.
It's Mark Twain. Langhorne
was
Clemens.
close.
Samuel Langhorne Clemens.
I'm disappointed
Yeah.
in myself.
That's okay.
I'm
No.
disappointed in
That
myself.
was But when Byron said he knew her right off,
I was like, yes, I've heard both of those.
somebody did say Mark Twain. Who was that?
Those quotes, man, are great.
Who was that? That Roy Jackson said Mark Twain. I'll be daggum.
Oh,
Nice job,
all
Roy
right,
Jackson.
Not bad.
Yeah, not bad, not bad. Great job, Roy. But I'm gonna disagree with you. The Tornadoes are going 5-5. But we'll get into that discussion later. There is no way on God's green earth the Tornadoes are going 5-5.
Not the way they look.
Not the way they looked in that spring game. I'm gonna tell you right now. But don't go anywhere because here comes the round table.
Hey Tornado fans, this is Kurt Miracle of Miracle Automotive and Towing, proud sponsors of Tornado Football. I want to welcome you to beautiful Starke, Florida at David Hurst Stadium, and thank you for letting us be a part of this community. We're here for more than your automotive and towing needs. We're here to be part of Tornado Country. Go Big Red!
This is the round table. We go around the region, around the table with the latest news and notes. Brought to you by Harry Business in the Deerfoot Plaza, home of the $10 haircut. Call Dave and Company at 904-964-3338. Open Monday through Saturday, 9 to 5, and closed on Sundays.
Dave Holland,
Yeah, Dave Holland.
master of the man bun, right?
Master of the man bun if you want it. That's exactly right, Dave.
check it.
Can you show people how you work on that man bun there?
Just check.
Yeah, we just want to check. I'll tell you what, that's okay. Maybe we can come back and get that a little bit later.
Thank you, Mr. Holland. I really appreciate that. Can you please lose that somewhere?
Hey,
So
that's
I don't
the
get to hear
dancing,
Mr. Man Bun again.
the dancing destroyer for you.
I mean,
There you go.
look, I look like a founding father. I don't look like.
Well, that's, anyway.
I'll stop.
Moving right along, we begin in Lake City where police are investigating after dozens of shots were fired into a home on the 4th of July. 2 victims say they heard gunfire coming from outside their home on Northeast Cherry Lane at 10 p.m. There were no injuries. Anyone with information is asked to contact the Lake City Police Department at 386-752-4343. Byron, and what? You can
Remain anonymous.
There you go.
Not pusillanimous, but anonymous.
Doctors are delaying the leg amputation surgery 24 hours for a 17-year-old girl who was bitten by a shark in the waters off Steenhatchee. If y'all haven't seen that video, please go back and watch that. Addison Bethea was attacked by a shark while scalloping off the coast of Keaton Beach. Doctors plan to amputate her leg below the knee, but she is expected to make a full recovery. That's awesome news right there. Go ahead, big man.
Hey, Starke City officials tell On the Spot that the splash pad at Edwards Road Sports Complex, as well as the facilities surrounding it, are temporarily without power due to a thunderstorm that damaged some electrical components. Now, the city is working to replace these with new parts, and they expect to have the splash pad up and running as quickly as possible.
Over to Suwannee County, where one man is dead after a vehicle traveling east on U.S. Highway 90 near County Road 49 struck him Sunday morning. A 67-year-old male pedestrian entered the roadway directly in the pathway of the vehicle. The vehicle collided with the pedestrian and in the eastbound travel lane, resulting in his death. The investigation is continuing.
The Putnam County Sheriff's Office is searching for crossing guards before the start of the school year. PCSO says they currently have 2 permanent positions open and 1 floating position to help as needed. No experience is required or needed for these positions, and the Sheriff's Office will provide all necessary training. For more information, call 386-329-0485.
And can we remain anonymous, Round?
You can.
Okay.
Back in Bradford County, Ladanian Zachary Smith, 31, of Port St. Lucie, was arrested by Lottie Police on June 26 for failure to surrender license or registration, driving with a suspended or revoked license, threatening harm of a public servant, resisting an officer with violence and resisting an officer without violence.
This guy racked him up.
Yes, he did. According to an arrest report, Officer Michael W. Starling clocked the defendant driving 66 in that 45-mile-per-hour zone in Lodi. Starling reported that after the defendant pulled over, he told Starling that he was a sovereign citizen and does not recognize government law, and made threats against both him and our police chief over there, Jerry Feltner.
Yeah.
How about that, huh?
And needless to say, he was taken to jail.
Yes, he was.
I've got to say something about this. I have been hearing that term a lot lately,
I
sovereign
have as
citizen. That means nothing.
Right.
We're all sovereign citizens, and we all have to follow the laws of the land, or they will put you in jail.
Now, if you want to use the term diplomatic immunity with me, okay, but still, I don't recognize that either.
You're not getting diplomatic
You're
immunity for being
not
a
in Lodi,
citizen
Florida, you're not.
inside of the United States, and you're in the United States either.
You're not getting diplomatic immunity in Lodi, Florida, I can tell you that. Now, here's the
You're not getting diplomatic immunity.
No, you're not. Now, here's the weather forecast from the storm chaser himself, Mr. Austin Stevens.
This weather report brought to you by Austin's Weather Service out of Keystone Heights. Find Austin's Weather Service on Facebook and have a detailed local forecast sent right to you.
Good evening, everyone. Welcome. I'm glad to be back. I miss being in the studio. David, nice to see you. Nice to see everyone.
See you.
The weather now, we have some nice, partly cloudy skies. Thunderstorms are clearing out tonight, but we're going to have them pop up thunderstorms throughout the rest of the week. Temperatures will hover in the lower to middle 90s with heat index values up to 108 through the weekend. I am going on vacation. Let's hope it don't rain it out, but it looks like 70% chance of rain covering you from Friday through Sunday. Back to you, David, unless Michael has some news.
Thank you again, Nat, for that great weather report, Austin. And I know you got to get going because you got to pack up for this trip. But Mr. Michael Heater is going to cover you for the end of the show as he gives that weather report again at the end of the show.
Really do appreciate Michael. Really do.
Yes,
really
absolutely. We appreciate you. By the way, before
sir.
you go, I do want to say just one quick thing before we move on. I want to thank you from all of us, everybody here, on the great work that you do on YouTube.
Yes,
Let me tell you something, ladies and gentlemen. If you don't think that is hard work and tedious work, just ask this gentleman right here.
It's 20 gigabytes per show when I do off-site rendering to support 1080p TVs that on YouTube.
Right.
Our quality up on YouTube is 1080p 60 FPS. We support for high quality TVs. We're working on 4K, but my studio where we do the uploads will have to have a gigabit fiber backhaul. So we're working on that by 2025, the earliest.
All right, that sounds really good. Awesome. And I'll tell you, you do a great job putting those shows up so you guys that aren't on Facebook can watch it on YouTube. Yeah, it's the following day generally, but that's okay. You can still catch it, that's for sure. All right, moving on. Trivia on Wednesday nights at Fun Point starts at 7 o'clock. The best trivia around anywhere on Wednesday nights is held by this guy. He is your trivia host. That's Mr. Michael Heater. And then on Thursday nights at the Downtown Grill, the best trivia night on Thursday nights or anywhere around, I host that at the Downtown Grill. That starts at 7:30. And I tell you, both of us have, it's been a little wishy-washy, Mike. The summer's here, people traveling, people doing things. Weather's pretty. But I guarantee you, as school starts up, those numbers are going to bump back up.
And we're still pretty consistent. So
Yeah.
we have a pretty good. So Wednesday nights, if you are interested, we'd love to have you come out and join us. We have a number of teams that make returning appearances. Does very well with that. With the City Slickers are one of our defending champions. I expect them to be in the house tomorrow night to try to defend the crown. Let the team Let's Go Brandon is always there. They are watching tonight, so a shout out to the team Let's Go Brandon. As we say, keep paying attention because the answer for one of our trivia questions is coming up in a few minutes. You know it, on the spot. What's the date? You'll have that answer coming up for you as well. Our Name That Tune segment has really kicked off. We're having a good time with that one. And, of course, everyone's favorite category is You Gotta Be Kidding. Comes in on round 5. That's where we provide you a crazy, stupid law still on the books in the United States. I give you the law. You tell me the state. It's easier than you think. If you want to have some fun with us, come out Wednesday nights, 7 p.m. at Fun Point.
And that sounds like some real easy points. And I'm fixing to give you some easy points right here.
That's right.
Because on Thursday nights, Brandon, we got what we call, and the answer is.
That's right.
If you're watching this show, it's the easiest 9 or 11 points that you will ever get from me and this guy.
That's right.
I can tell you that. So, Thursday night's trivia answer, David, is, drum roll, give it to me, Byron and Mike.
Nail.
Nail. There it is. N-A-I-L. There's going to be some questions about that. You could, even if you didn't watch the show, you could probably get it. But hey, it has to be exactly right.
Yes.
It has to say nail. It has to be exactly right, because I've had some people go, well, it was there. No. Hey, we gave it to you on the show. It's nail, and that's it.
That's exactly
So, anyway, there you go.
It's the easiest points I ever get.
Yeah. And now, everyone's favorite segment. This is everyone's favorite segment of the whole show that brings back a little history, brought to you by our great media partners, WEAG Eagle Country 106.3 FM, Chuck and Mary Kramer and Lynn Bellis, our bosses on Friday nights as we do Tornado football, as Byron Bagwell is the new color commentator filling in for Mr. Kevin Howe. And also Michael Heater doing some voiceovers, does some things for Community State Bank, some things like that, whatever Chuck needs him to do, he's there as well. And the Bradford County Telegraph, John Miller, John Ron Tillman, Mark Crawford, and of course, Cliff Smelly. Here's What's the Dates? These are the headlines from the Bradford Telegraph during the first week of July. In what year? You thought I was going to say June, didn't you? No way. Police say domestic violence led to murder. Bradford County's Sexton wins Miss Florida pageant, and Starkman lost in July 4th traffic accident. Was that the first week of July of 2016, 2017, or 2018? Police say domestic violence led to murder. Bradford County Sexton wins Miss Florida pageant. Starkman lost in July 4th traffic accident. Was that the first week of July of 2016, 2017, or 2018? All right. I'll read the first one. Michael, you read the second one, and Byron, you read the third one. Kiana Thomas was found shot on Oak Street in Starke overnight, and her husband of 4 months, Keon O'Shea Johnson, 25, was arrested approximately 12 hours later.
Yes. Bradford County's own Courtney Sexton, competing as Miss Orlando, won the title of Miss Florida at the Lakeland Center's Yuki Theater, earning the right to compete in the September 11th Miss America pageant held in Atlantic City, New Jersey.
Sean Robert Lee was killed in an early morning crash at the Northeast 19th Avenue and Northeast 173rd Street, just outside of Starke, according to the Florida Highway Patrol.
All right. Police say domestic violence led to murder. Bradford County Sexton wins Miss Florida pageant. Starkman lost in July 4th traffic accident. Was that date the first week of July of 2016, 2017, or 2018? All right, we're going to check the comments, and we're going to greet everybody to the show. I want to tell you what's going to happen on the show tonight right here. We've got two special guests with us tonight. We have the city manager.
Yes, we do.
And what else do we have, Michael? The director of what?
Community Services.
Yep, that is Brandon Ludwig, the Director of Community Services,
Correct.
and our City Manager, Drew Mullins, going to be joining us, because we have a lot to talk about, especially what happened over this weekend.
Yes, indeed.
Starke Splash Bash. You've seen some of the pictures of that already. We're going to show you some more of that as well. I tell you, what a great event, but we're going to get into it with those guys here in just a few minutes.
Exactly.
But right now, you have a chance to guess that date, and you have a chance to win a $25 gift certificate to the Downtown Grill if you pick the right date. What we do is we put your name right here in this fire helmet, which we're fixing to draw out a name from last month's winner.
That's right.
And I tell you, it was a tough one, Mike. Man, there was 1 week where we only had one. There was very slim pickings this month.
That's true.
We hope to have this month, Byron, as better pickings. But if you get your name pulled, you get a $25 gift certificate to the Downtown Grill that you can use at any time and at any point. Let's welcome in some people to the show. Welcome, Miss Shirley Bagwell. Hello, Mom. Hey, everybody. Loved the cake last week. Hope you and Donnie are starting to feel better. Yes. Gail Allen is on. Roy Jackson's watching. Jimmy Sparks from Lake City's watching. Austin Stevens, who just left on us. He's going to watch the show always. Yep. Shirley Bagwell says sound is back. Matt Peterson. I want to thank Matt Peterson, by the way. Great sound production, great sound technician. He provided the sound for this whole event. He did a wonderful job. DJ Sounds production. Thank you, Matt. We're going to be talking a little bit later on a couple of things. Dana Bell is on. Ellen Disher Williams is on. She says, howdy, Patriots, and howdy back to you. Trent Bryant's on. Janet Roll's on. Bartow Lee, which we had helping us out.
Yes, we did.
Bartow, hello there, sir. He loves tornado football, by the way.
Yes, he does.
Ellen Disher Williams said, that is facts. Pepper Autistics is watching. Yeah. Ellen Disher Williams says, I agree, Washington. Okay?
It's close.
Well, it's close. Miss Bagwell said Adams, too, and it's close. It's all close. Yes, B. Franklin. No. Anyway, it's close. Joel Davis is watching.
Hey, pause right there.
Yeah.
Joel, great job on the video.
Oh, yeah.
Stunning. Thank you for that.
Yeah.
I mean, it's amazing, and we really appreciate it. Thank you.
Yeah. Melba B. Johnson is watching. Roy Jackson said Mark Twain, which you did get part of that right. That's great. Yeah. Noah Gibson's on. Randy Brooks, Roger Cruz, Eddie Sigmund, Lynn Bergman, Brandon Ludwig's on. How about that? You know Brandon? I know Brandon. Yeah. We may see Brandon in a minute. Bobby Gibson, one of our old classmates, Brandon, he's watching from Birmingham, Alabama.
There you go.
Eddie Seaman, here we go with some dates. He says 2017.
Hey, whoa.
Okay, whoa. Hang on a minute. We got to get everybody in. We want to. So Eddie Seaman says 2017. Okay. All right. Randy Brooks, 17. Roy Jackson, 18. Autumn Lindsay says 2017. Terry Wilkinson Anderson says, hey, give me 16. Sharon Pettiprin, the model. The model is finally back on. Hey, you better get your guess in here. 2016, 2017, or 2018. So, that's all I've got right now, Byron. Do you got anybody different than I have? I think we got the same thing right there.
Pretty much.
All right, I'm going to go around the table. Mr. Byron Bagwell, what do you say?
I'm going to say a 16.
You're going to say 16. Mr. Ludwig.
So it was back when I was in high school, so it has to be 17 or 16. I'm going to go with 17.
You're going to go with 17, okay?
I'm going to go with consensus 17.
You're going to go 17. David?
I'm gonna try 16.
You're going to try 16. Michael? Can't. All right, let's see. Ellen says 2016. She likes that. Yep, she likes that. Miss Sharon Pettiprin says 2016. Yep. So, everybody get your guesses in here. Did I say Mom's guess yet? She has not, has she? Mm-mm. No. We need to get Miss Bagwell's guess in here. So, I'm going to... Probably. I'm going to go... I think Sexton won that in 2016. I'm going to be, because of I want to say Miss that I don't know the other two, but Miss Sexton, I think is 20. I'm going to say 2016.
I could be wrong. We both could be wrong.
Yeah, we both could be wrong on that, and these guys may be right. Shirley says 2017, by the way.
All right.
So, okay. All right. Jimmy Sparks says 2017. You know what? Sarge is not on. I don't know what's going on with Sarge tonight. Sarge didn't get a piece of that cake, by the way.
Sarge has probably been banned from this. That's probably what's happened with Sarge.
Probably.
Or still recovering from the 4th of July.
Or still recovering. That's true. All right. Well, we're going to go on. So, because we need to get the show moving. All right. Let's get a drum roll, please. Let's see who's right. Bam, boom, bam, boom, bam. Well, and the answer is wait for it. There it is, July 2016.
There you go.
There you go. Anybody that said 2016, get your name put into that fire hat. We'll have that drawing the first week of August.
Yep.
But we have a drawing tonight.
Yeah. You want to do it now?
Absolutely. Let's do it now.
Okay.
I'm excited. I'm ready. Let's do it now.
All right.
You want to draw it?
I will draw.
Okay, draw it. Sure. Yeah, draw it.
It's been a while, Stone.
Okay, it's been a while. So go ahead. Yeah, absolutely.
Got a bunch of them here. Okay.
Yeah, there's a few of them in there.
Okay. Reach in.
Keep it folded, B. Keep it folded. Let's peer at it.
Ready?
Yeah, let's be right. Ready? Can you already tell who that is? Oh, okay. That's going to be Let me just. Okay. Wow.
New winner.
Yeah, new winner for sure.
First time winner.
Wow, sure is. And I believe this gentleman was on the show earlier. I don't know if he is
He
now.
was a little bit earlier.
He was.
Matter of fact, he's still sitting here.
Is he?
Yeah, I won.
That you can't win.
Yeah, you can.
That doesn't say that. Wait a minute. Yes, it does say that. Go ahead, man.
All right, congratulations, Mr. Roger Cruz.
Turn around, show it.
Show it to him
Show
so
it to
he
him.
believes
Let me
it.
see
Mr.
There you
Roger
go.
Cruz.
There you go.
I will see you Thursday night at the Downtown Grill with your
Roger
certificate.
I think it was. I know he.
He hasn't won before.
He's
I
not
know
won
that.
before.
No.
I know he was. I know he got, and I know it was last week that he did that one. So
Yeah, as a matter of fact, it was last week when he got his first. So the only entry that he had, and his name got pulled. So anyway, congratulations,
cool.
Roger. That's the way it goes.
It is. Yeah.
All right.
And no, that wasn't payback for the free appetizer.
No, I was just going to say last week. Thank you all for joining us tonight. We have some special guests in the studio tonight to talk about Splash Bash held Sunday night. In case you didn't make it to the football stadium in Starke, here's a little taste of what you guys missed.
Nope.
Come on, you guys.
There we go.
Which way are we going? Just let him slide. You better Can you slide over this way? Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to On the Spot with David Rodgers. I'm your host, David Rodgers, right alongside the Byron Bagwell. Michael Heater has left the studio here for just a second. He's taking care of a couple of things. He's going to be back with some final comments and the weather. Our senior producer, the Dancing Destroyer back there, Mr. Dave Holland, he's back there producing the show. Got a couple of nice guests in here with us tonight, right here to my right. He is your city manager. He is Mr. Drew Mullins. And to your left, Byron, right over there, my left, he is the director of
Community Services.
Mr. Brandon Ludwig. He's in the house tonight, guys. Welcome in and thank you for coming in. You just seen a little video clip of what we put on there and some pictures and some things that we got for a great event that happened this past weekend. Called Splash Bash, first annual Splash Bash.
I tell you, I had a great time. Did you?
Oh, absolutely, man. Absolutely. It was great just up there talking, interacting with you, interacting with everybody. It was a really a great time. And I tell you, this kind of thing needs to keep happening. I know you guys are going to talk about this a little bit. But, that's the first time that I remember, and I was talking to Byron a little bit about this, that Starke has held anything probably in 12 to 13 years, anything of significance. They used to hold the fireworks, shoot the fireworks off, but nothing like this event right here and this production that was put on. Brandon, I'll start with you first. The vision. Whose vision was it? How did the city of Starke get involved? The planning and everything that went into making this. Let me ask you that.
For sure. So, we had a really exciting vision. Our city manager came in, and one of the good things about Starke that we've always talked about is you've got different great events that are happening around here, but Starke is the perfect place to do something because it's the seat of Bradford County. You've got all of Bradford County that's here, and they want to come and do things locally. And I don't say this in a bad way, but especially with gas prices being high right now, why would you want to drive to Jacksonville or Gainesville or somewhere else when you can come right here in your own community and do something? And so, Drew had a vision for bringing an exciting new 4th of July event to the community, Independence Day event to the community. And the vision was, how can we do something that won't take out of, other areas' market share, because we want to be able to have something that will get the turnout that we want to have. And the vision really, really evolved. I'll let Drew feed off of that, but Absolutely. It really, really evolved.
It kind of started small and then kind of snowballed. I went to the commission, asked for fireworks, and it just turned into this big, huge thing. And
right,
everybody that made it happen. I mean, it was just everything fell right into place, and I couldn't believe it.
Yeah,
and I have to give a shout out to Michael Heater and Brandon and all the other volunteers and the commissioners for believing in the vision, at least.
Yeah, and that's exactly right. And, you were talking about the vision and how Drew and you two guys are young guys, and got a lot of ideas and things like that. And that's what we need sometimes in a small community like that. A lot of people say, it's always old school this, old school that. But with you guys, you're younger, you're vibrant, you want things to happen for our community. And this is just the start
Absolutely.
Of many things that could happen. I know we had lunch together today, and we talked about some of those things that I don't want to give away unless you discuss them, because I'm not going to be in trouble. But anyway, and with you being the city manager, you guys can make things happen. And along, like you said, with the mayor, the vice mayor, and the whole city commission that really got involved in this and wrapped their head around it. And I can tell you right now, you were right about Michael Heater. Michael, I guess, just stepped up and took the ball and just sort of ran with it. He's always been that way, even with our show and with everything else that he does. He just stepped up and said, hey, I'll make this thing go. And he did.
Yeah, and you got to give hats off to Will Hartley.
Yeah.
He and Michael really worked together on, using the football field, using the whole stadium, and that just kind of, like I said, snowballed.
Right.
Loved it.
Hey, Michael, and Brandon, I don't want to put you on the spot, no pun intended. Michael, I know if you could, I want to thank everybody, as many as you can. I know you don't want to leave out anybody.
Yeah.
But as many names, and I know you have a list of them. Can we thank each and every one of those people? And if we leave off somebody, we don't intend to. We'll make sure that we catch you for sure. But like Brandon and like Drew was saying, this couldn't have happened without all these great players that were involved. And I've heard nothing but positive feedback on this whole thing. And I'm going to let one of you guys say it. Y'all want to say the number that was that came through that gate? I think you ought to say that number, because me and Brandon was talking. Really, the vision was, if we got 500 to 1,000 people in there, it was a success. Why don't you tell that number, man?
Yeah, I was blown away by it. To be perfectly honest with you, blown away. We ended up counting 5,100 people in and out throughout the day. Yep. 5,100 people.
Good
Yeah.
Absolutely insane, I know. Yeah. And our original goal was 500.
Yep. We were going to consider that a success, 500.
Right.
Yeah. Good Lord, 5,100 though.
If you build it, they will come.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that's a great point. I think Brandon said something like that too. So, Michael, I'm going to give you a couple of seconds while I give these guys a breath, and just thank everybody that was involved, if you can.
Yeah, I'm. For those of you that are on social media, if you follow me, I made a post, and I thanked a lot of people. And I want to reemphasize what I posted, which was, this is not a one-man show. We brought a lot of people together from different backgrounds to create a good, old-fashioned, hometown fun event. It was all about entertaining. It was all about community spirit, and I think it worked out beautifully for that. And with that being said, a shout-out to a couple of people. John Probst, he was my right-hand man throughout the whole time. It was like he was attached at the hip. If I needed something done, he took care of it. It worked out beautifully. Melissa Cribbs, unbelievable job. She coordinated her team. She had a whole team that handled the accountability and admissions. We knew where every child came in there. We had waivers signed for the school district. We were able to track down people, and it worked very well for us. Of course, the city manager.
Yes.
And Drew and Brandon working with the city clerk's office when you have you had Jimmy and Lisa and all City Hall came together for this.
Absolutely.
I was thrilled with the 95% of everyone that just gathered together that really pulled this off. Shout out to my safety officer, Jacob Swaggerty with the Bradford County Sheriff's Office. All the deputies that were there, Josh Hill, Logan Huff, Scott Conkell. They all gathered in. They all came together. And Starke Police Department, shout out Jeff Johnson, if you're watching, your guys were amazing.
Yep.
And folks, if you thought the guys were good, the four-leggers were even better. The K-9 demonstration.
Mike, can I stop right there for just a second? Officer David Hall, if you are listening to this broadcast, oh my God, I cannot believe you dressed up for every one of those demonstrations and let that dog not attack you once in a thing, but 2 or 3 times in one of those. I was like,
I'm pretty sure he even flipped him over one time.
It did flip him over.
I can tell you that I'm pretty sure
Shout out to Officer David Hall.
Hall's nickname was probably going to be Timex because, buddy, he took a licking and he kept
yes,
on
he
ticking.
did.
He did really good with that one.
Dude.
Of course, the entertainment was spectacular, and that was in no small part to the guy sitting right here in the center, David Rodgers. I signed you to do entertainment, and you and Matt Peterson together made it happen. I was over the moon thrilled with the sound system. We were able to make things happen. And it's not just about the music. We were able to reunite families where we had kids separated from parents. We had 3 situations, and I'm telling you, within 90 seconds of making the discovery, we had reunification. We were able, with a plan in place, to be able to make sure that everybody was accounted for, no child left behind, no child lost, no parent lost. It was remarkable, and kudos to you and Matt for being able to make that happen.
And Brandon. Brandon helped him out a little bit there too.
Brandon was too. Absolutely.
But, absolutely, man.
So again, a shout out to my team on the Fantastic Fire Brigade. Jay Maynard, John Probst, David Bukowski, Deanna Bukowski. We came together working great. I was thrilled with the way it turns out. You've seen the pictures of the fire trucks and everything like that one. All I had to do was say something and it happened. And I was thrilled with my team on very much on that one. Will Hartley, of course, did a great job. And a shout out to former Sheriff Bob Milner.
Absolutely.
I threw the gauntlet down on a parade and I said, make it happen. He says, what all do you want? I said, a parade. And I walked away. And by golly, if he didn't turn around and put together 65 carts, he was able to put together a parade committee. He was able to get a team together. We had judges. We awarded gold and silver and bronze medals. It was amazing. And the turnout for the parade was phenomenal, and I really enjoyed it. Shout out Mitchell Gunner. Mitchell put together a car show.
Yes, he did.
And I can tell you that we're already working on some plans to make the car show even bigger. Next year, I know the weather scared a lot of people off.
It did.
But and Brandon's going to make a comment about what the headlines needs to be in the paper. We'll get to that in a little bit like that one.
But you already know. Yeah, we already talked about that.
So I love that one. Braxton Britt. Owner of Coach's Party Rentals. This event, along with Foamtastic Services, made this event. Look at the screen. Look at these kids. This is unadulterated joy. These kids had a blast. From the water slides, the foam that was laid on the field, the fire truck in the background spraying the water. Again, it was a team effort, and I cannot thank everyone who was involved in this to pull that off. And then, of course, from the public safety standpoint, Sheriff Gordon Smith, the deputies, the explorers, with Scott Conkell and his team of explorers that were out there.
They did a wonderful job.
The posse was out there, our mounted posse was out there providing logistical support. Jeff Johnson, Starke Police Department, if I needed something, it was instant. I want a road shut down, they handled it. If I needed something moved, they took care of it. It was fantastic. Gary Wise, Starke Fire Rescue, provided support to the Fantastic team. They were there. We had a fire breakout during the fireworks show. And Engine 1 had the fire out before anybody could get on the radio to tell me to
say
fire.
anything.
I was like,
that's how they were on it.
All I heard was fire's out. I'm like, what fire? Wait, someone it was that quick. Engine 1 and Engine 2, they had double staffing. We had 2 engines on the road. It was phenomenal. Great stuff. I appreciate it. And finally, a shout out, Dylan Rodgers. EMS chief for Bradford County Fire. Dylan provided me an ambulance. We provided the golf cart, the MERV unit like that one. We had 3 injuries, minor injuries, but we had paramedics instantly there. I mean, before someone could say, I need help, they were there. And they were instrumental in helping us locate missing parents when we had a child show up and needed help. So, I mean, from police, fire, and all the logistical team from the school board and everything like that one, Will Hartley, Chris Coffey, all the guys. I mean, I could go on.
Yeah,
on.
we could.
But this was a phenomenal team that came together to build this event. And because we laid the great foundation, we now have something that I believe will last years and years to come.
Yeah, wait till next year.
Yeah, I was just going to say, wait till next year. I know we'll talk about that a little bit. I also want to thank Miss Jalen Jackson for her performance. Wow, she did America the Beautiful, outstanding. She sang her songs outstandingly. And let me tell you something, Miss Leanne Purvis. Wow, did she nail that Star Spangled Banner or what, dude?
Beautiful rendition.
She did that a cappella. She said, no, David, no music. I'm doing this a cappella. And God almighty Friday, did she nail it. So both of those young ladies and their moms and their family, I want to thank them for letting them come out and perform with us. They did a wonderful job. My compadre here, Mr. Man Bun, if David would put that up if we could find it, was supposed to sing. He was under the weather and hated to miss. He called me Monday, didn't you, me? And you said, how did that go? Actually, I called you on the way home that night. I wanted to talk to you. Because, oh, wait a minute. There he is. Our very own, the Byron Bagwell right there. Look at that. Who is that guy? Hey, I think there's a movie out after you, too. Let's see, I believe. Oh, there it is, Top Bun. There we go. How about that, B?
No.
Anyway, hey, we're having a little fun here. But Byron was supposed to sing. And I tell you, a lot of people ask me, man, where's Byron? People's heard you sing before. Byron's got some pipes. So next year, Byron will be there next year.
I still don't know if I can sing right now. Right.
Well, yeah.
You want to try it?
No. No, I don't. So, I'm sorry.
But anyway, man, he called and apologized to me, and I was like, man, hey, you can't help you go into the weather, buddy. It is what it is. We had a plan in place. We talked about it, and we did exactly what we said.
I still can't hear right out of my right.
See how he figures. So, yeah. So, anyway, let me get to a couple of comments before we go on to some other things. Jimmy Crosby's watching, by the way, so if y'all want to say hello to him. Renee Devine, do you know her?
I do.
Do you? She said, great job by everybody. Mitchell Gunner says, next year will be better. Renee says, with Brandon by your side, big things will always happen.
Miss Renee, I'm sure you're still tuned in. Thank you for tuning in tonight. We have some really awesome things going on in Starke. I knew her. She does some awesome photography over in Clay County, so we might have to bring her over for some things too.
Yeah.
I want to piggyback onto that. When we started putting this together, I met with Brandon, and Brandon was my sounding board for a lot of this stuff.
Right.
You know, I needed somebody with some clout. I needed somebody with the PIO experience, the management experience. And Drew was huge in this one.
Yes.
Brandon was huge in this one. And I'm not blowing sunshine up anybody's skirt. Again, it's a team effort. But it helps if you're going to be in charge of something and you're directed to do something that you have the resources you can go to. And these two gentlemen were great to be able to meet with on a weekly basis. We'd grab lunch or we'd sit down and we could bounce back and forth. A lot of things that happen behind the scenes happen because of the guidance of these two gentlemen.
Absolutely.
And I just want that to be known that while it's a team effort, having that ability to communicate is huge. And I thank both of you for what you did to make this event.
Yeah, and that's exactly right. Matthew Mitchell says, I agree with everything that's being said. Of course, Renee's giving you a little clap there, and she must love you, man. Autumn Lindsay says, great job, guys. Matt Peterson said, yeah, absolutely, you're back in. There's no doubt. We've got this compadre thing going here. So you are the sound guy. Mm-hmm. We're going to talk a couple of things, the stage thing, but we'll talk about that a little bit later. Matt Peterson said, yeah, dude. Officer David Hall, him and those dogs were doing gymnastics. Yes, they were. I'm going to tell you what, man. Ralph Bratton commented and is watching. Yes, it was a team effort for sure. One of the cars that was there in the show, I built a custom audio in the truck. I guess one of the cars that was in Mitchell's car show there. I guess he did the sound for that. Mitchell Gunner said it was always a pleasure to be part of the team, and I'm sure he'll be doing that again next year. Congratulations, neighbors from Clay County, Miss Ray Devine. So, was Renee the one I met that night? No, who was that?
No. So that was Keystone City manager.
Okay, what's her name?
Miss Lynn Rutkowski.
Yeah.
Miss Lynn, okay, yes.
She came over to see what the rival city was doing, I guess.
Absolutely, and I wanted to present her with the water bill that Starke used up. So that's in the mail for you. So just pay it when you can.
Yeah,
We'll give you.
The problem, Keystone had its own issues with fireworks that night, from what I understand.
Yeah, well, anyway, we won't get into
We
that.
don't need a water bill after that.
Ellen Disher Williams gives some gold trophies to all you guys. His mom, lovely lady, Miss Shirley Bagwell, I don't know if y'all know her. What a wonderful county we live in, she said. Yeah. Absolutely. Yeah, they were both awesome. He could have done an amazing job. Shirley said you could have done an amazing job, of course.
Okay.
David, I believe you said you were going to do a demonstration with the canines on air, buddy. That's later on.
Hold him to
Absolutely, I'll do it. I'll do it, but it's going to be later on, okay?
Okay, later on has turned into what now? A year and a half?
Yeah, I guess we'll have to do that at some point. Okay, we will.
We'll get Rick.
We'll get rid. Yeah,
About man buns.
yeah. Now he's going to push the canine thing. Yeah, I can see it here. Sorry, didn't make it this year. Should make it next year. Looks like it was great. That's Eddie Sigmund. Yes, it was. It was. Dwight Allen, one of our great friends and a brother we call a brother. He says, "Good evening, fellow Patriots." He's out at Kingsley Lake this week. He's on vacation, so I'm sure he's seen everything.
that.
Eddie Simmons says, "I would love to hear Byron sing." Ellen Disher Williams and some of her people says everyone deserves a standing ovation for what went on here this past weekend.
They do. They absolutely do.
And Dwight Allen, yes, he was. Yeah, Officer David Hall is related to Dwight Allen. He said my cousin was the dog toy. So anyway, that's some of the comments that were that were coming on here. Dave, do you mind, before we ask these guys some more questions, and if the audience has any questions, do you mind running that little video again, that little pre-package, if you can get to it here? I just want to show
The Splash Bash?
Yes, the Splash Bash one. Yes, as David is queuing that up, here we go. These he's running some of that here. Drew, as far as I know that we're going to have a post committee meeting and things like that. Me and Michael, and I was hoping you could come to lunch today too, but Brandon had lunch and just talked about a few things. Did you get any negative feedback of anything? And if so, I know we will probably want to talk this between us, but just to let the public know, there wasn't a lot of negative anything happening.
No, I have not heard the first negative thing about it.
Yeah.
Yeah, we were just, like I said, we were just excited for this.
Yeah.
And I think the whole community was really excited, so we were all one thing, and that's the biggest thing, is trying to give back to the citizens.
Yeah, and that's exactly right.
Yeah.
And not only, this was a two- and threefold thing, Brandon. We celebrated our independence and the Declaration of Independence. You had a great weekend out there already, and the kids, everything I hear is the kids. The kids had so much fun. Great job with that, by the way, with the water slides and the water shot and that foam thing. Until you said it, bro, I didn't even know it was there.
Well,
because it was behind the stands and I couldn't see it.
And what's crazy is that was one of the more last minute things.
That was. We had a previous arrangement. We were trying to make a previous arrangement, and one of the agencies locally dropped the ball. We had a couple folks that kind of ghosted me, and that was one of them. So we stepped in and we were like, we need a backup plan, and I try to have several backup plans. Foamtastic was one of them.
Right.
So I called them, and I called Lucy, and I said, I need your help. And she says, when do you need me? I said, I need you in about 30 minutes. No, I'm kidding. It wasn't. I told her, I said, I need you this weekend. That call was this past week.
Right.
And she said, and I explained what happened, and she said, we'll be there. How long? And I said, I need you to plan for 2.5 hours. When we shut it down, she had 2 minutes of foam left.
Wow.
She timed it perfectly. Yeah. It was. I said I wanted 2.5 hours. She delivered 2.5 hours. It was phenomenal. Probably the highlight from what I've seen with the kids. You've seen the pictures up on the screen right now.
Here.
It was just. I wanted to jump in there. I mean, it was just that much fun.
Listen, we did have some parents jumping in there too. I was going back through my photos and I was like, okay. We had parents that were commenting on things that are like, is it only open to kids? And I'm like, listen, maybe we need to open up to the adults too. Have some more supervision over there.
I think the clerk even wanted in on it.
I know.
Yeah.
Who didn't want to be there? You know.
Exactly. Yeah. Byron, do you have a question for these gentlemen, or do you have a comment about this?
There was no cornhole tournament, Eddie.
Yes, and I do want to apologize. I'm glad you said that. I do want to apologize, and Michael as well. Yeah. A lot of people asked me about the cornhole tournament. There was probably 12 to 14 people asked me, where's the cornhole tournament? Sorry, it got canceled at the very last minute. But I can assure you, that's one of the things that we talked about. I promise you guys, next year, there will be a cornhole tournament.
Yes.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So, and we're going to talk about that, and we're going to make it part of the entertainment package, I hope, and I'm going to be in charge. Along with maybe Byron can help me out,
sure.
With the entertainment, and you as well. And we're going to have that cornhole tournament.
Yes, we are.
I know a lot of people were disappointed at that, and that's okay. Hey, we'll make it up next year, that's for sure.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yep, I knew that was going to be asked. So, because everybody asked me who won the cornhole tournament, and I went, well, a person named Nobody. No and Body. There we go. How about that? Huh? But that's okay. That's all right. Anyway, let's see. The children in our... Ellen Disher Williams said, the foam. Yeah, that's exactly what it was. His mom said, Miss Shirley Bagwell said, the children in our community had so much fun. You could just see it right there. Nobody. Shout out to the Sunbelt Woo crew, she said. Yeah, Mr. Big crew.
Yeah.
Yes. And that generator was about as quiet as you could get, man. I didn't hear nothing to there.
Yeah.
So thank you, Sunbelt Rentals. Absolutely came through for us, guys. And last minute, too, by the way. Yeah. We was wondering how loud we was going to have to be to get power. And, man, it takes a lot of power to power up those amps. Those speakers, we had almost 12 foot of speakers up there. Of course, the monitors on stage and everything. It was just there was a lot of power, and that generator definitely worked out for that. So I want to thank them as well. So go to you first, I guess. So after all this, and I know you're still putting those together. I know there's still things in your head. I know we're going to do it next year, correct?
Yep. That's what we're shooting for, yep.
Shooting for next year.
The feedback has been so overwhelmingly positive, and I'll tell you what it really showed us this year. You said it a few minutes ago, but it's true. We asked the community to come out. We had a lot of folks who said they wish that they had something here, and we made it happen. Something that me and Mike have talked about several times is that we've had people here in the past that will put together an amazing event, but it's just not advertised well. And so you don't draw the people that you want to draw. And then, there's been events that have been advertised well, but it's not a good event, so then people don't come back. And what I really loved about this was that there was such a great combination from that, is that, the execution of the event went down. For a first-year event, absolutely incredible. In terms of advertising, we reached over 33,000 people more than 300,000 times. That's incredible. In a 60-mile radius, we reached more than 33,000 people, more than 400,000 times. That's just absolutely.
That's absolutely.
And that's with a bare bone. We had about $1,000 for advertising that we could put forward this year. Imagine doubling, tripling, quadrupling.
But that goes out to you guys. That goes out to you guys because you stayed on top of it. You knew what you had to work with. And y'all have got this creative mind. You knew what to do, and you knew how to stay on top of that advertising.
And we had something great to sell as well.
What was your advertising avenues?
So we had a couple of different things that we did that I think that made it different. One of the biggest things that I've always thought is very important is being here in Starke. Your big local publication that's going to be able to attract the attention of a lot of the older folks is, of course, going to be your hometown newspaper, the Telegraph. So we made sure to kind of give the Telegraph the scoop on everything that was going on, and they did an absolutely phenomenal job really covering that. So you had the Telegraph that you had it covered. A big shout out to Chuck Kramer at 106.3, the entire Kramer crew, because they did a wonderful job. In the morning on my commute in here, I'd have 106.3 on, and I heard it 2 or 3 times. I mean, they did a very good job of putting it out through locals. One of the other big things that the city pursued that's a different thing this year is the city put in advertising dollars onto Facebook and Instagram marketing. And so we were reaching people as far away as McClinney, as far away as Fernandina Beach, as far east as Palatka, as far south as Ocala, and as far west as Lake City, and spending the money to make that happen. And then in terms of visually, locally, what you saw was we spent money at, thank you, big shout out to Showcase, who stepped up and got, we said, can y'all get these done in 2 weeks? And they said, we'll get them done for you in 3 days. I mean, seriously, the business support here has been incredible.
How many signs was it, 30?
We did 30 signs, and I'll tell a little funny story here. Hopefully this won't get me and Drew in trouble. But we did 30, we got the 30 signs out around town, and then we had this big banner that we were going to hang up on the back of the music pavilion. And I was driving out putting up the signs. About a week and a half before, I was all excited. I was like, "This is so cool." We had people honking as I was out there doing it. And then I get to the end of 301 South down by the Walmart, and I'm getting ready to turn around, and then I look at the fence that's down there, and I was like, "Ooh, I got an idea here." And so I called Drew. I was like, "Who does this fence belong to?" Because I know some of that back there is the old spray field that's city property. And Drew goes, "Well, it might be FDOT. We're not really too sure." And I said, I say we shoot for hanging the banner up there and see what happens. So that's exactly what we did. And I give it credit. Very visible. You can't miss it. You could not miss it if you were heading south of town.
And the advertising worked by the numbers that we got.
5,100 people at an event in Starke.
Absolutely.
For our first year.
On the 4th of July, when people are normally doing other things and going other places, is a great number.
And I'll tell you, and it's funny that you say that, because even Brandon asked, "Hey, I know there's some people here from Callahan." Well, Leanne is from Callahan, but there was other people there from Callahan. And I heard somebody was from Jacksonville, on the backside of Jacksonville. They all came from everywhere, so I know that's how the advertisement worked.
I know of 2, and maybe actually there was 3 of them. I know of 3 from Palatka.
And I'd like to blow our own horn every week since it started.
Y'all been talking about it as well.
On the spot, we'd talk about it. We'd have a whole section and got it out, and we reached thousands of people too. So
absolutely.
Those views are anywhere from 1,000 to 3,000 per show. Just varying. So
and our YouTube,
is a portion as well.
Long.
Oh yeah. Well, and that's the thing too, is by doing that and by hitting a variety of different avenues, whether it's on here or whether it's on in the newspaper, whether it's on social media, or whether it's doing it outside where people can see
radio,
it. And radio. We were quite literally, particularly over the last 2 weeks, literally saturating everything with it. So you saw everywhere, splash bash, splash bash, splash bash. I had people from Orange Park texting us, "I know you guys are behind this ad. I see it. This looks awesome. I'll have to come by and check it out." And that's what's so cool, is you see other people from around the area that are seeing that and saying, "I want to come to Starke." And there's a secondary benefit to that as well that's not necessarily apparent at first glance. But when these people come here for these events, they're buying your gas, they're eating in your restaurants, and they might be staying at your hotels. So that's generating needed tax revenue for both the city and for the county. I bet when those numbers come out at the end of the month or in 2 months and we're able to see them, you're going to see a noticeable spike for July.
I wonder how many parents out there experienced their kids, instead of saying, "Are we there yet?" They're like saying, "Is it splash bash time yet?"
Yeah. Well,
I think you're going to hear that.
I think we passed over 1,000, but right before the end, in terms of the number of kids that we have, just over 1,000 armbands were handed out. So that was over 1,000 kids that came in and out throughout the entire time. And of course,
that being the first year. And that's something I want to really say is a big shout out to those of you guys from here in Starke and Bradford County, and those of y'all who may have come to Splash Bash from somewhere else. This was a first year event. We really did not know how it was going to go. Our target for the golf cart parade was 30 carts. Our target for the event was 500. A couple days before, we had someone tell us, hey, you guys might want to prepare for about 2,000 to 3,000. So we're like, okay, I guess we're like, let's prepare for 2,000 to 3,000. And then day of hits, and we go where we went. And so, and that's not even the biggest investment we could have done yet.
No.
Yeah. There's great things in store.
Did I hear right that there's a video of this floating around?
There is somewhat of a video, right?
Yeah, we did.
Yes.
We're working on it. Hopefully, be able to see if we can get it on.
Right. So
yeah, there's going to be video of this so you can watch it and actually.
Yeah, and there's pictures. I mean, the pictures tells 1,000 words too. All the pictures that were taken, and I want to give a shout out too to somebody in particular that really put her thought and her heart into an article that she wrote. That was Miss Paige Anderson. I want to thank you for that wonderful article that you wrote. We piggybacked off of that. We see your true feelings on how you felt. I mean, that was well written, and her heart was really into that in the right place when she put that out there. Then there's the Splash Bash logo right there. But she did a wonderful job writing that, and like I said, we piggybacked off of that. She said she couldn't be more proud of her hometown, Drew and Brandon, than what happened there. And man, I can see it on your face. You're glowing. He's glowing. I'm glowing. Michael's glowing. Byron wasn't even there. He's glowing. I mean, you had to, man. It was just, I mean, for just a few hours, man. You get to get away from everything, man. The problems of the world, the problems you're having at your house, or whatever it may be. Just a few hours. And isn't that great that y'all guys were able to do that? Oh, okay. Okay. Oh, look at this crew right here, man. Look who's that handsome guy from the left and the right. Trying to figure those two guys out there. Oh, there's Mitchell Gunner right there with the car show.
How many cars did they have?
Only 13. I think it was 13, right?
So the weather.
But the weather.
Yeah.
Mitchell said that the weather scared people out. They had their cars waxed and washed, and they didn't want to drive them in the weather because they was going to have to rewash them and they was going to look like garbage when they got here. So it was a little bit lower of a turnout, but next year we got another plan for them.
Fireworks.
And we talked, the fireworks show, and shout out to Joel Davis.
Yes.
And Beth Tillman got some incredible photos as well. I mean, the photos that we got from our fireworks show were absolutely incredible. Seriously, guys, if you're tuned in tonight, thank you so much.
Absolutely. This is a drone, right? Mike flying over, or is
that was here.
That was
Joel Davis, and this is Beth Tillman shooting that one with my engineer up at the top of the ladder.
I bet he had the best view in the house.
He had the best view in the house, no doubt. So it was a great opportunity for us to come together the way we did.
Yeah, and I just want to read some more comments, guys, before I let you guys go. I know y'all have been had a busy day and a busy week, and you're trying to disseminate all this stuff. So, Judith Young, thank you. I forgot you were over there at the parade helping out there.
Yes,
and she came over and said hello. So, Judith, thank you. Melissa, wonderful job that you did with the admissions and your team and your crew.
Yeah.
Absolutely fantastic. Matt Peterson says, I didn't realize it took this many watts. 44,000 watts to run all that stuff. That's a lot of wattage.
Wow.
Yeah, so Sharon Pepper, I am so glad that Roger Cruz won too. Roger, congratulations on winning that. I'll give that to you on Thursday night. Renee Devine says, that's facts. Judith says, count me in to volunteer next year. Bank. This was an amazing event to be part of. The smiles on those kids' faces made it worthwhile.
It's amazing that I've had people text me and send me messages on Facebook already volunteering for next year. And I'm massaging some plans and some ideas for other events between now and next July.
Absolutely.
And if you're interested in helping serve the city and serve on a committee to help with not just the 4th of July. There's a lot of events that the city is working towards for the community. And if you would like to help with some of the planning and some of the activation of these plans and make things happen, reach out to myself, reach out to Brandon, reach out to Drew. We love the volunteers. We love the opportunity to build a team that will be able to provide this type of entertainment for our entire city.
And it's good that he mentions that, because that's a great segue into kind of what Brandon and I were talking about earlier, and I think he mentioned it to you earlier in the day. But we've got so many exciting things going on in the works in the background. Go ahead and release it.
We're gonna break some news. We're finally ready to break some news tonight.
Breaking news, ladies and gentlemen, right here.
Yeah. So we're going to be starting this. It's a supper on the square, as Brandon coined it. To me, it gives a great thing for downtown. Use of the downtown square, and we can flow into the businesses. So we'll have food trucks here, but afterwards, like on Thursday nights, go to trivia. Downtown Grill. Go up to Tony Owl's if they want to.
Right.
Yeah, movie theater. I mean, you can just transition all the way up there.
Yeah.
So, it's a beautiful, beautiful project. So, there's just so many other things and then a lot of things in the background that, of course, I hope we'll be able to break on here.
Absolutely. I definitely want to break it on here. So anytime you guys want to come on, absolutely.
I mean, where there's developments or businesses coming in, events, just absolutely phenomenal things in work.
Yep, and we have one of our very own that's running for city commissioner. Hey, it is what it is. We'll see what happens in that election. Let me see. Renee says, amazing fellas, and the proof's in the pudding. That's all you can say.
Listen, I had lots of good banana pudding this weekend. I'm sure my family's tuned into this. Mom, you did great with the banana pudding this weekend. So, yes, the proof is in the pudding.
Yes, it is. Ellen says that the Facebook information was great, like you were saying, getting it out there. She said, man, that's where I've seen a lot of this was on Facebook. So good utilization of Facebook. Eddie says, have a good night. Renee says, y'all better be prepared for nothing but upward numbers in your crowds from here on. Great job, team. We are all Florida's first coast and support one another, and you're exactly right. Marketing and networking, print, word of mouth, it's all very important, and y'all all nailed it. So absolutely, man, she's phenomenal, man. She's.
I gotta introduce you guys to her.
Yeah, absolutely.
I think that's her way of saying she wants to come on the show.
Tell her to come on. We would love to have her. She could have came on. Come on. Shout out to the show for getting information to our county and surrounding counties. Thank you, Shirley. Yeah, we do our best with that, Michael. I think honestly, if we could toot our horn for a minute, toot. I think we do a great job in doing that. As we get information, news, or anything like that, we try to be the first to break it. Not because we want to, we just want to, it's our community. We want to be able to do that because there's some people that don't get news for a couple of days. And, if they can have their phone and go, oh my gosh, that just happened or this is happening, we want to be the first to do that.
Well, y'all got some of the best breaking news tonight.
Yes, we did. How about that, huh?
Absolutely.
Mike Tierney, the firework display at a church put on was better, but Starke doesn't care for their community, just money. Okay, your opinion. Okay, Mike. Hey, I read your opinion. That's good.
That was all free right there, wasn't it?
Absolutely.
Hey, yeah. Mike, I'll respond to him.
Okay, do you? Okay.
Mike, this is our first year doing this, and we weren't sure what the turnout was going to have. This church has done it for the last few years, and we weren't sure the turnout that we were going to have. I will tell you, we've had numerous other people reach out and offer to help us next year with our fireworks display. Of course, you're more than welcome to come volunteer with us if you want.
Yeah, sure.
Feel free to come and volunteer with us. We're always here to work to make our community a better place. Yes, but we are working on making things bigger and better. The community showed that they cared about it. And like I said, you think it can be better? Come on out and join us. So
absolutely. Randy Scoggins is watching. Jeff Goins is watching. Helen says, that's bull. Okay, I'll let y'all discuss that one. Anthony Black from Tallahassee is watching. He used to live here. He lives over in Tallahassee. Myself and my family will be right there at the next event. We love to see the kids' excitement, and that's exactly right. If Starke didn't care, there wouldn't be an event, period. If Matt Peterson said
I
that.
don't know if we said this or not, but everything was donated.
Absolutely.
You know, everything the city didn't have anything in it except for the fireworks.
Ellen said that. She said no money was made off of this. And that's exactly right.
And let's clarify this a little bit further. No money was made off of it. However, the Touchdown Club got over $3,000 to go towards the projects that they're doing.
Absolutely.
Okay? The businesses that came out, the barbecue and the snow cones, they made money to recoup. Yeah. But that was because they were given an opportunity to make money. They didn't make a major profit. In fact, I can tell you that one of the businesses lost money due to a logistics issue that they were having, but they never failed to deliver. If they wanted food, if they wanted snow cones, if they wanted anything at all, everyone that was there got what they wanted. The lines were not that long.
No.
We planned to have, there was some duplication of food vendors and that sort of thing, but that's because we didn't want people to wait 40 minutes in line.
Right.
We had all the facilities. We lost out on some restroom facilities. We were able to compensate for it, but it did not cost the community any money. Now, some of the vendors, had to take care of their own stuff, and our sponsors paid for it. But I would bet that this event, bar none, would probably, for the size and for it being an inaugural event, you would never get a better deal than what was done. And it's going to continue to grow because I think other businesses see the economic value of supporting a community that's going to turn around and support them in the future, and it's only going to get better. And as far as I'm concerned, I don't want the community to have to pay for anything that can be provided to them.
And I want to say something. Mike Tierney come back, and again, you heard what Brandon said to you. Ellen Williams, no, and the city didn't get a dime. They paid for it.
Yes.
And that's exactly right. But it just wasn't the city. You heard these gentlemen say it was a community effort. It was a city effort. We had many volunteers, many people. $2,000. And they say, we won't even mention and we won't even mention that. So there was monies and other things that were given from the community and the surrounding areas. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So people don't understand that when you have an event like this was huge. And it wasn't the city of Starke. The city of Starke had the vision, and yes, they had the pre-planning along with Michael Heater, but it took everybody.
We couldn't have done it. That is a public-private partnership at its finest. Yeah. Because what it showed, and you see the hat here, Team Starke. What it showed is that this entire community came together. The city, our business partners, because we're looking to do things differently than they've been done in the past. I've had folks. I'm relatively new over here, and I know Drew's relatively new to the area too. Yeah. And I've heard from some folks as well. Things aren't going to change because of da. And I was like, but if that's the mentality, then they're not going to.
Never change.
Right.
I grew up right down the road next door over in Keystone, and I've always loved. Growing up, I would come over to the steakhouse every week. We would grow up and come over here, and I'd get something from there, or we'd come over to the movie theater. And Starke has so much pretty Southern charm. I mean, Call Street's gorgeous.
Oh, God, yes.
And the thing is, we have stuff. Yeah. We have to sell what we have. And this Splash Bash was our first big opportunity to do that. And besides this one gentleman, that's the first negative commentary that I've heard. And, and I say, in future years, because of what's gone on this year, the amount of people that have already reached out, how can we help make next year even bigger? How can we help with the fireworks show? How can we be a part of the parade? I mean, our own member of Congress, Congresswoman Kat Kamick, thought it was so cool that it was going on. It was the only parade she went and did that day. I'd say that's a pretty solid success for a first year.
Yeah, absolutely. And again, I'm glad that you said that and mentioned that. Renee said, I can also appreciate your festivities were on different days than surrounding counties, so we can join you all.
Exactly.
And that, you hit it right on the head there. Let me see. Ellen says, I'm not sure about that, talking to Mike, I guess, but it brought in money to businesses for sure.
Absolutely.
I guarantee you, as you will get feedback from these businesses, I can guarantee you, Sundays was open, wasn't it? Sunday. I believe it was, because I had somebody text me and said they was eating at Sonny's, and he said it was packed.
Then the gas station, the Starke shell was like packed the entire day. I had to go back and forth numerous times.
Right.
It was packed the entire time.
You know, a lot of these business owners, I even saw them in the golf cart parade.
Yes.
I mean, like I said, the whole community came together.
Listen, start KOA if you're on there. Start KOA, 5 carts, and that's what I love. Because we weren't even thinking about businesses participating. It was just individuals, and we had, Florida State Prison, the KOA. We had so many businesses. Next year, that's one of our little tweaks that we talked about, adding businesses in. So I'm so excited.
I've got to tell you a funny little story.
Okay.
So Mike asked me to go and pick up the carts for KOA. So I did. I had my trailer and stuff. So Mike said, I think they got 4 carts. And I was like, okay. So we got the first 2 carts. Everything was good. Come back. We got the next cart. Michael didn't tell me that the next cart had a little wagon attached, or a little trailer attached behind it, so I could only take one. Oh. But as me and John was backing this thing off the trailer, it jackknifed on us. Oh, no. That was like, oh my goodness. John was backing it off, and it jackknifed. So we had, thank goodness, the Sheriff's Explorers and some of the Sheriff posse was there. We had to pick that thing up, shift it around to the side, finally got it off, went and got the last one. And but it was funny. John would have to tell you the story. I'm like, yeah, Michael didn't tell me that there was one with a trailer on it, but I didn't think Michael knew that there was one with it. But happy, thank you for, we didn't mind doing that. We'll do it for you next year. Hey, it was a great time. Like I said, they had 4 or 5 carts in there, so it was a great deal. Just a couple more comments here. Ellen's, you hit it right on the head. You heard these 2 guys say it. It was for the people. It was for the kids. It was for you. Man, hey, what did it cost you, Mike? What did it cost anybody?
Well,
besides yourself, no. What did it cost anybody to come in?
To come in, it cost you. It cost you the time it took for you to make the drive to enjoy the evening.
This was a free event, man.
Yeah.
How many people can say right now, seriously, of something that magnitude, running it for free?
Well, and the fact that it was his first year and it went off so well.
I tell you, everything just fell right into place. I was amazed by it.
Absolutely amazed. I will mention one other thing, because that morning, this is what we were talking about earlier. I had made the comment that day. I said, the Lord must be a Bradford Tornadoes fan. That morning, we get out there early at like 7 o'clock, 7:30, and we were dealing with some different things out there that morning. But one of the most pressing issues was looking at the weather radar. It showed massive storms in the area until about 4 o'clock. So we were like, well, that's good. It'll at least be cleared up in the afternoon. But we were worried about some of our earlier on events getting messed up. So we're out there, we're getting stuff ready. I got to run home to Gainesville for a little bit. By the way, Gainesville, sorry some of you guys live there. I prefer being up here a lot more. But I'm just saying.
I got you.
No comment on Alachua County. No comment.
No comments on the People's Republic.
Yeah, People's Republic of Alachua County. That is what we call it.
That's right.
But I have to run back home to Gainesville, go get a change of clothes for the afternoon. And as I get back down there, and literally until I left again about an hour and a half later, it was a total downpour. And so I pull up my phone and I'm checking my radar. And there's a giant red blob of stuff, just south of Hampton. There's a giant red blob of stuff just north of Starke. But Starke wasn't getting touched. And I sit there and I keep refreshing. And I see a teeny little bit of rain. And I call Michael and I'm like, hey, everything going good up there? Are you sure we're not getting rain? And he goes, we've gotten a very little bit. We're doing all right. Man, I tell you, when I drove back up through Alachua County and I come around the corner right before the Bradford County line on 301, and you see literally it clears up right after the bridge. Yeah. I was like, you know what? I said, the Lord wants to see this succeed.
Absolutely.
The Lord must be a Bradford Tornadoes fan. I mean, seriously, we had so many different things that went well together that day, and I'm blessed.
I can tell you the Lord loves all of those shades of red. That's what I'm going to say.
There was one part in that day around 4 or 5, somewhere around there, I had to run into town. And it was raining where I live. And I got past the bypass into 301 into town. Mm-hmm. And you could see that it's like clear. And then you get a little bit more into town right there about 100, and you can see down the road where it's raining like heck right there around Market Road. So there was just this one big circle of clearest weather
It's incredible.
right over top of it.
It was truly incredible. We were ecstatic. I'm telling you, it was incredible. It really was.
Guys, I really appreciate you guys coming on the show. Y'all come on anytime you got any breaking news. Just let me or Michael know. We'd love to have you. Thank you again, guys. Jimmy Crosby, everybody on the city commission, the mayor, everybody that was involved to start kicking this off. Thank our very own Michael Heater for helping direct and get everything in line. It was really, really a great event. Guys, thank you so much for coming on. Thank you, Drew. Thank you, Brandon.
For having me.
Thanks, guys.
Absolutely.
Good to see you, Byron.
Good to see you too, guys.
And,
sorry I couldn't make it. I'm
Good.
We're glad you're back in commission.
Yeah, there
I
you go.
wouldn't exactly call it exactly back in commission, but I'm better than I was. That's for sure.
There you go.
And I take next time we'll have some of these team start.
Okay,
Team
yeah,
We'll
bring these out there again.
yeah, absolutely. That would be perfect.
Shout out to Sporting Chance for these things.
Yeah.
One of those.
Yeah, that certainly was a big hit, man. I'll tell you, I can't believe how many people asked you about that. That is awesome. So, again, guys, thank you very much for coming on. We're going to be right back after this commercial break.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. I'm going to do something a little bit different. I did this last 4th of July, and I'm planning on doing it again because not very many people ever hear anything but the very beginning of what I'm about to do. And I wanted everybody to understand a little bit of something about what I'm about to read. By signing the document I'm about to read, the 56 men that did this not only put their lives at stake, but they put their families' lives at stake. They put their money at stake, and by money I mean businesses and farms. And they basically took a real chance to give you and me the freedoms and the liberties that we have right now. And it should be read every 4th of July. I really would appreciate everybody if they would do this, especially if they have kids, and explain to them what this document means. It's written in very plain English. So here it goes. In Congress, July 4th, 1776, the unanimous declaration of the 13 United States of America. When in the course of human events it becomes necessary for one people to dissolve the political bands which have connected them to another, and to assume among the powers of the earth the separate and equal station to which the laws of nature and of nature's God entitle them, a decent respect to the opinion of mankind requires that they should declare the causes which impel them to the separation. We hold these truths to be self-evident, that all men are created equal. They are endowed by their Creator with certain inalienable rights, that among these are life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. To secure these rights, governments are instituted among men, deriving their just powers from the consent of the governed, that whatever or whenever any form of government becomes destructive of these ends, it is the right of the people to alter or abolish it, and to institute new governments laying its foundation on such principles and organizing its power in such forms as to them shall seem most likely to affect their safety and happiness. Prudence indeed will dictate that governments long established should not be changed for light or transient causes. Excuse me. And accordingly, all experience has shown that mankind are more disposed to suffer while evils are sufferable than to right themselves by abolishing the forms to which they are accustomed. But when a long train of usurpations and abuses pursuing the same object evinces to design to reduce them under absolute despotism, it is their right, it is their duty to throw off such government and to provide new guards for their future security. Such has been the patient suffering of these colonies, and such is now the necessity which constrains them to alter their former system of government. The history of the King of Great Britain is a history of repeated injuries and usurpations, all having in direct object the establishment of an absolute tyranny over these states. To prove this, let facts be submitted to a candid world. He has refused his assent to laws, the most wholesome and necessary for public good. He has forbidden his governors to pass laws of immediate and pressing importance unless suspended in their operation till his assent should be obtained, and when so suspended, he has utterly neglected to attend to them. He has refused to pass other laws for the accommodation of large districts of people, unless the people relinquish the right of representation in legislature, a right inestimable to them and formidable tyrants only. He has called together legislative bodies at places unusual, uncomfortable, and distant from the depository of public record for the sole purpose of fatiguing them into compliance with his measures. He has dissolved the representative houses repeatedly for opposing with manly firmness his invasions on the rights of people. He has refused for a long time after such dissolutions to cause others to be elected, whereby his legislative powers, incapable of annihilation, have returned to the people at large for their exercise, the state remaining in the meantime exposed to all dangers of invasion from without and convulsions from within. He has endeavored to prevent the population of these states for that purpose of obstructing the laws of naturalization of foreigners, refusing to pass others to encourage the migration hither, and raising conditions of new appropriation of lands. He has obstructed the administration of justice by refusing his assent to laws for established judiciary power. He has made judges dependent on his will alone for the tenures of their office and the amount of their payment of their salaries. He has erected multitude of new officers and sent them hither swarms of officers to harass our people and to eat their substance. He has kept among us in times of peace standing armies without our consent of our legislatures. He has affected to render the military independence and superior of the civil power. He has combined with others to subject us to jurisdictions foreign to our Constitution and the knowledge of acknowledged by our laws. He has given his assent to their acts pretending legislation, for quartering large bodies of armed troops among us, for protecting them by mock trial for punishment for any murders that they should commit on the inhabitants of these states, for cutting off our trades with all part of the world, for imposing taxes on us without our consent, for depriving us in many cases of the benefit by trial by jury, for transporting us beyond seas to be tried for pretended offenses, for abolishing the free system of English laws in a neighboring province, establishing therein an arbitrary government, and enlarging its boundaries so as to render it at once an example and fit instrument for introducing the same absolute rule into these colonies, for taking away our charters, abolishing our most valuable laws, altering fundamentally the forms of our government, for suspending our own legislatures and declaring themselves interested in the power invested with power to legislate for us in all cases whatsoever. He has abducted government here by declaring us out of his protection and waging war against us. He has plundered our seas, ravaged our coasts, burnt our towns, destroyed the lives of our people. He is at this time transporting large armies of foreign mercenaries to complete the works of death, desolation, and tyranny already begun, with the circumstances of cruelty and perfidy scarce paralleled in the most barbarous age and totally unworthy of a head of a civilized nation. He has constrained our fellow citizens captive on the high seas, bear arms against their own country, to become the executioners of their friends, brethren, or to fall themselves by their hand. He has excited domestic insurrections among us and endeavored to bring us, the inhabitants of the frontiers, the merciless Indian savages who know only known rule of warfare is an undistinguishable destruction of ages, sexes, and conditions. In every stage of these oppressions, we have petitioned for redress in the most humble terms. Our repeated petitions have been answered only by repeated injury. A prince whose character is thus marked by every act which may be defined a tyrant is unfit to be the ruler of a free people. Nor have we been wanting in the attention of our British brethren. We have warned them from time to time of attempts by their legislatures to extend an unwarrantable jurisdiction over us. We have reminded them of the circumstances of our immigration and settlement here. We have appealed to their native justice and magnanimity and have conjured them by the ties of our common kindred to disavow these usurpations, which would inevitably interrupt our connection and correspondence. They, too, have been deaf to the voice of justice and consanguinity. We must therefore acquiesce the necessity which denounces our separation and hold them as we hold the rest of mankind, enemies in war and friends in peace. We therefore, the representatives of the United States of America in General Congress assembled, appealing to the Supreme Judge of the world for the rectitude of our intentions, do in the name and by the author of good people of these colonies, solemnly to publish and declare that these united colonies are and right ought to be free and independent states, that they are absolved from all allegiance to the British Crown, and that all political connections between them and the state of Great Britain is and ought totally be dissolved, and that as free and independent states they have the full power to levy war, conclude peace, contract alliances, establish commerce, and do all other acts and things which independent states might do. And for the support of this declaration, with a firm reliance on the protection of divine providence, we mutually pledge to each other our lives, our fortune, and our sacred honor. 56 men signed this document. They signed their death warrant. Some of them were killed in the War of Independence. Some of their families were killed in the War of Independence. A lot of their homes were burnt. Most of them lost their businesses and ended up destitute. Some of these people, you know their names very well. One of the biggest ones that everybody knows is John Hancock, because he was the first to sign it. You had people like Thomas Jefferson who wrote it. We talked about Button Gwinnett from Georgia County, that's named after it. The list goes on and on and on. John Hancock, Sam Adams, John Adams, Robert Payne. You look at these men and you start studying their lives, and you understand just how much of a risk that they took to give us our freedoms and our liberties in this country. Every single 4th of July I read that, or I listen to it, one of the two. You have to understand, people, what they gave us. And you have to understand something else. These men had a vision of what this country could be and what this country is in a lot of ways. Thank God for these 56 men. If it was not for them and a few chosen other ones that actually helped write our Constitution and change us from a form of government that is loose and not very effective, and the men and the women, 3%, it was only 3% of Americans that fought in the War of Independence. We would not have a United States of America. We would more than likely still be a British colony or part of Great Britain by now. It would be called a colony. It would be called part of Great Britain. Every time I read that, at the end of that I tear up. Because the men knew exactly what they were risking. Thank you, God, for putting men on this earth like that. May our colors forever wave over this country. And God bless America.
God bless America.
Byron, that was really awesome. I tell you, I tear up.
I can't do. I'm sorry, guys. I can't read that without doing that. I just can't, because I understand exactly what those men did, and those were real men.
Yes,
those were real men. People have a problem with Thomas Jefferson. People have a problem with George Washington. People have a problem with a lot of our different founding fathers because they had slaves. I don't know how much clearer Thomas Jefferson can make it. All men created equal. If you go back and review their documents, you will find that the majority of these men that actually held slaves either never bought them themselves or were constantly trying to have slavery repealed and couldn't do it. It is a sad state of affairs when we look at something like this in this country and we think that these men that gave us what we have were not the men who we were told as kids, or they're being told that they were evil people now. It really hurts me because that's not what these men wanted. They wanted everybody on this God-graced piece of land to be free. And eventually they were. They set the groundwork for it.
they did.
So, like I said, God bless America. I thank God and I thank these men every day.
Brian, and that was a great reading of that Declaration of Independence, and we try to do that, like you said, every 4th of July. Even if we can't read it, we at least try to listen to it, because it will bring tears to your eyes.
I can get through the majority of it, David. That end part where they talk about their sacred honors.
Yeah.
I just...
You know, we live in the greatest country in the world today. And when you hear me always say that, because of this document and what those 56 men went through to put this document together, like Byron said, some of them lost everything. And you know some of those big names.
Some of them died.
Some of them died because of that cause.
I want to make something really clear about this. Do you guys? I'm pretty sure everybody in the audience has seen Braveheart at one point or the other. Do you remember how William Wallace died? That's what those people risked.
Yes. Because of this document right here. And that's why, David and Byron, and I know Michael's not in here right now, why we can have a first annual Splash Bash in Starke, Florida, Little Starke, Florida, because of this right here. Byron, where is that at?
It's
the 56 men. The 56 men that helped create this document and signed off on this document. That is why we can do this show. That's why we can have a first annual Splash Bash, and we can do anything that we want in this great country, because these guys, these founding fathers, risked everything. Everything, like Byron said, everything to include their lives.
And when the Crown came after you for treason,
yes,
they came after you for. They came after you. They came after your family,
everybody.
There's something called a tender of blood. They would go after all of your relatives and you and your family and your farms and your homes and your businesses. They're going to kill everybody that could even possibly have a thought like they were having.
Right.
Like they were just wiping out their existence.
That is
exactly right. That's exactly what they did.
I mean,
yes.
You know, these people, I just, the respect, the amount of respect should be so much more.
Yeah, I agree. Byron, this was a heck of a show tonight.
Yes, it was.
I tell you, we talked about the Splash Bash. We had Brandon Ludwig on. We had Drew Mullins on. Michael Heater was on with us. Of course, he's part of our show. The Dancing Destroyer back there, Dave Holland. You reading this rendition of the Declaration of Independence, talking about that. That's why we was able to do what we did this past weekend, because of those great men. That's what we were celebrating, even though it was a fun day. This is what we really celebrated.
They would want us to do things like that. They
Absolutely.
would want us to have. This is not a melancholy day.
No.
By any point.
No.
I get upset and brought to tears because I truly understand what these people actually sacrificed.
Right.
For this. And all Americans should understand and be joyful that they did it, because they gave us our liberties and our freedoms.
Yes, that's exactly right. But again, I want to thank everybody for a great show. Byron, thank you for joining me tonight, my brother. I always love having you. Hope you can make each and every show. Hey, nice ponytail there, by the way. It's better than the man bun. No, I got you. So, again, I want to thank our guests for coming on tonight. It's been a great show. I know I didn't get to every comment. I'll just read them really, really quick. We won't answer them. But Renee Devine said, yay, man. She said, this is a great show, guys. She wanted to thank Brandon for inviting her to our event. Absolutely. Thank you for coming. Benny Jackson was watching. Ellen Disher Williams said, fabulous job again, everyone. Becky Touchdown Dugan is watching. Jeff Cook is watching. Ellen says, amen. Your mom says, thanks, son, for reading that. Billy Sanford is watching. And, of course, Nikki Cooper was just now joining us. Again, we're at the end of the show. It has been a great one. Please go back and watch it on Facebook. Right after this show, you can go back and watch it. If you'd rather watch it on YouTube, you can watch it at YouTube tomorrow night after 7 o'clock, as Austin Stevens will be putting that on our YouTube channel. So God bless you guys. Thank you for joining us each and every week. Tomorrow night, don't forget our very own Mitchell Gunner at 7 p.m. on the Spot Motorsports with David Rodgers, along with his beautiful co-host. We'll have a special guest. He's lining up some guests for tomorrow night. It ought to be a great show. That show was taking off like the wind.
Yes,
and I tell you, we're going to be doing some things live from some racetracks, different things like that. Mitchell's got that under control. Again, thank you for joining us. God bless you. We'll see you next Tuesday. Congratulations, Roger Cruz, on the $25 gift certificate for the Downtown Grill. On behalf of the Byron Bagwell, Mr. Michael Heater, Mr. Fantastic, we like to call him, the Dancing Destroyer, Mr. Dave Holland, Mitchell Gunner, who will host the show tomorrow night, and myself, the show pony.
The show pony.
The show pony. But I like to be called the equalizer too. I don't know what it is, but the equalizer and the show pony. So I like the show pony, but I like the equalizer. Yeah. Because you know what? Odds are against you. In trouble. All you got to do is call On the Spot with David Rodgers. It will help you right through that. God bless you guys. Have a great night. Have a great week. Have a great weekend. We love each and every one of you. God bless you guys. And again, we live in the greatest country in the world today, the United States of America.